Hi everyone, thank you so much for joining me today. Today I'm going to be giving you an update on weeks 5 through 12. Yes, a lot of time has passed, but if you're interested in seeing how this pregnancy has been going, including ultrasounds, doctor's visits, choices that we've made, make sure you stay tuned. But my greatest symptom has just been being exhausted. Hi! Thank you guys so much for joining me. So far you guys have seen Jared's reaction to my pregnancy. You found out I was pregnant. If you haven't already, go ahead and check out weeks 1 through 4. And I'm going to be updating you guys on weeks 5 through 12. First things first, today I'm actually 14 weeks and 2 days. But on our next video, I'm going to give you an update of weeks 13 and 14. I think I'm going to do them by every 2 weeks so that, you know, every week we're not boring you. And then we also put out Meet the Masons videos because I know everyone didn't come here to just see pregnancy updates, even though I'm glad you guys are here for that. So I want to say that I think the last video I told you guys that Jared would be in this video, but to be quite honest, we've been so busy and it was just really convenient for me to just do this one by myself, on top of the fact that I'm covering like 7-8 weeks. And he probably would have just been sitting there and nodding, but it is very important for us. And he brought up this idea that he puts out what it's like to be a first-time dad and his experience throughout it. And I think that was a very good idea because oftentimes we only hear from the mom, but we never hear the dad suggestions. So I am very pro family, pro everybody. Hey, this is affecting us all. So you guys stay tuned for that, and he will be coming up in the next couple weeks. Okay, yay. So I think I'm going to break these videos up by symptoms, steps that we've taken so far around the baby, or decisions that we made around the baby, and then doing the baby bump, just to make it a little bit easier and more clear. So my week 5 started December 31st, 2016, and it ended January 6th, 2017. So wow, just going back to that, like I said, I'm 14 weeks now, so that is a lot to update you guys on, and I honestly should have been recorded this, but I'm not going to beat myself up about it. I'm going to give you guys updates because guess what I did? I took notes. If you guys didn't know earlier, I am using the Baby Bump app to record little things, my symptoms and things like that. I thought that was a better app to use versus any other app, but I also use other apps such as the Baby Center and the Bump as well. So let me go and find my journal notes. So I was going to update you guys on week by week by week, but I think I'm just going to kind of generalize it because I kind of remember. But weeks 5 through 6, I wasn't very hungry, but I was still eating. Sometimes I would get a little queasy, but it was like on a scale of 1 to 10, it was like maybe a 2, maybe a 3 sometimes. But I didn't really have that many symptoms. I actually started getting bumps on my face, across my forehead, which I still have, and a little bit on my back. Other than that, I was feeling pretty okay, and my bloating had started to go away. So that was around week 5, and then I remember, okay, so weeks 6 through 7, I was just tired, like, oh my goodness, exhausted. So I would have to close my door in my office and take a nap, or go somewhere to take a nap while I was at work. And I usually needed a nap around like 10 to 12 or so. I could feel it, like I needed a nap, and 15 minutes sometimes would work, but I needed more so like 30 minutes. So I was taking naps, just really tired, and usually when I got home I was just completely tired. So that was like weeks maybe 6 through 8. So just got really tired, and I found myself not really having the energy to go to the gym as much. So I definitely fell off, and I just ended up giving myself a break. I was having dreams about breastfeeding our daughter. So that was interesting. I had a dream, and it was a daughter, it was a girl. I saw her. I don't remember what she looked like, but she was breastfeeding. At first she didn't latch on, so I put a little milk like around my nip or like around her mouth, and then she was able to latch on, and I ended up pumping the other breast, and I got so much milk out of it. And I remember in the dream I just felt like super mom, and I was just so happy and excited. One day Jared and I, on the 7th of February, so this is getting closer to like weeks, I would say 9, 10, Jared and I were both craving ramen noodles at the same time. So Jared and I are really pregnant together. It is so funny, but we have similar symptoms. Like we get bumps on the same places on our face. Sometimes we have bowel movements like the same time of the day, and it is so bizarre. And I didn't believe it when people said that, you know, they would, like their spouses or their significant others, they would be pregnant with them. But like seriously, we're one. So we have cravings together, which is really funny. But I thought it was pretty funny. And then as far as cravings, I really wanted pizza. Pizza was a big craving that I liked. Another craving I had was for soul food. Then another one was for Haitian food. I really wanted Fruit Loops at one point, and then oranges were in the beginning. Oranges and Fruit Loops were in the beginning. But as far as cravings, those been fine. As far as my body, I decided that I wanted to do bio oil. Someone suggested it to me, and I found some on Amazon and Target. I'm actually going to order that, but in the meantime I have been lathering coconut oil over me, and I guess it's been working. I don't really know. Right now I don't have any stretch marks on my boobs or on my belly. I do have some like on in my thigh area and my butt area. So I just been rubbing those areas too, and I just want to keep moisturized, and I just don't want any stretch marks on my belly. So I'm just trying to prevent those as much as I can. And I know that a big key is also being hydrated, which I have been failing in that area for 5 weeks 5 through 12. In the beginning I was like, okay, I was chugging like 4 bottles a day and I felt good about it, but then it got to like 2.5, and so it's been like a real struggle. Not because I necessarily don't like water, but it's just like, I don't know, I don't like it. I don't know, I don't really know what to say about it. It's just harder to drink it, I guess. So I think I need to get like a fruit infused water bottle. I think the fruit infused bottle would help me because I love lemon water. So I think if I start putting lemon in my water, that would be helpful. And I don't think it helps that I just drink out of different plastic water bottles. I think if I saw myself just drinking out of one jug or refilling that one jug, then I would be more motivated to drink out of it. I think that's what it is, but I have not been drinking much water. Other than that, as far as weeks 5 through 12, honestly, I can say that I've had such a great pregnancy thus far. Like, no sickness. It will be minor nausea, but my greatest symptom has just been being exhausted. And that was my biggest takeaway from weeks 5 through 12, which is like, you know, wrapping up the first trimester. I know some people say it ends at 12, some people say it ends at 13, some people say it ends after 13 and into 14, but whatever. So I can say that just tiredness has been my biggest one, and yeah, that's that. So as far as hospital visits, so we went to, okay, so we have a birthing center that is really close to our home. Like, when I say near, it is like maybe 7 minutes away from our house, and it's right across the street from a hospital. So we're literally in a great location. I went there, a lot of my friends birthed there, and they had great experiences. So I just felt like naturally that's where I would birth, and we want to have a natural birth. So I went there, and they did not treat me well at all. How it all started was, so I found out on the 29th. So the 31st and the 1st, I was waiting to talk to my OBGYN. And I found out that she doesn't do the OB part of the OBGYN. She doesn't practice that. She only does, you know, gynecological services. So I found out she doesn't do anything maternity. So I talked to them there, and I said, well, when I called my doctor's office, I said, well, does she need to know that I'm pregnant? And they were just like really rude about it. So I honestly didn't know what to do, and I wasn't talking to any of my friends because I didn't want to tell them that I was pregnant. And the only one that really knew was someone who has not been pregnant yet. So I ended up going to, or calling the birthing center, and they said, okay, well, we'll set you up for your first prenatal appointment, but before you do that, you need to do a birthing tour. So I'm like, loops and bounds, I gotta take off work to do a birthing tour first. Why? I don't understand. So the tour was, the purpose of the tour was to see the facility, see if I liked it, and to discuss how much it would cost. But me, I'm a researcher, so I had already looked on my insurance website and pretty much calculated how much it would cost to be at this place. And they didn't have the birthing center on there, so they had a hospital on there. And so I had an idea of how much it was going to be. And so when I got to the birthing tour, and they were just being like really weird, it was the midwife and the insurance lady that does the finance or whatever, the accountant or whatever. The front desk lady was really nice, but they were not very friendly to me, and they got my information wrong. And I'm like, if you do this all the time, why are you giving me the wrong quote? So they gave me a quote that was more than double what I got from a hospital. And as we all know, birthing centers are typically cheaper than hospitals. So I was just like, this can't be right. So I talked to my insurance, and sure enough, I called them back, and they were like, oh, yeah, we were wrong. Yeah, so then I just got this revelation. I was talking to my friend at work. She actually just became a nurse, so and she wants to go into she wants to help babies, basically. When I talked to her, I realized that I just felt so much pressure to birth at that birthing center, and it was unnecessary. Like I didn't need to. So I knew what was very important for us was to have a midwife, and yeah, I definitely wanted a midwife. That was very important for me, and I just didn't know if other hospitals did. And she informed me that yes, indeed, other hospitals do have midwives. And I'm like, okay. So I looked at other options, and I had an appointment scheduled, but I decided not to go. Before I talked to her, I'm sorry, I just randomly asked them, do you guys birth twins there? And they didn't know the answer to it at the birthing center. So I was just like, okay. And they were like, oh yeah, we don't. So if you come into your appointment, we find out it's twins, we can't give you care, but there's a $250 non-refundable fee if we find that out. And I'm like, well, can I find out prior to? Like, how can I do that? Oh, well, they decided to give me a prescription to get an ultrasound elsewhere, and it was really expensive. So I'm like, okay, let me look for places near me that will give me a cheap or a free ultrasound, because I'm a social worker and I know that they have free ultrasounds in different places, but it's typically for low-income families, and I know that Jared and I, we don't qualify. So called different places, and I ended up seeing a Christian company called Thrive Orlando. I am so for them, and I told them my situation. I was like, listen, okay, we have insurance. A lot of people, a lot of the offices, they only treat people who don't have insurance or low income or something like that, or they're trying to like or it's an abortion clinic or whatever. But we had already decided we want to have our child. We already have insurance. We're not a low income family. Can you still help us? And they were like, yeah, I mean, our services are free. So I was so relieved, and we went to that appointment, and that's when we first got to see our baby in the womb. It was so cute, and it was such a sigh of relief to see the baby, you know, because you're pregnant and you're like, okay, the only way I know I'm pregnant is because I peed on a stick, you know what I mean? So to see the baby on the ultrasound was like, wow, this is real. But it still didn't hit me yet. But anyway, I went there and I told them specifically, I'm just really there to see if it's twins or not. Why did I want to know if it was twins or not? Because twins run in my family. My grandma was actually a twin, and she recently passed away. And I'm like, it's just a possibility. So they found out that it was not twins, but she measured me later than what I was. So I went in thinking that I was 8 weeks and 4 days, and she said, no, I was 7 weeks and 5 days. And I'm like, that's weird. I don't believe that. So once I found that out, I actually was gonna have an appointment at the birthing center for my first prenatal, but because I found out, okay, I'm not having twins, I still had that option. But when I found out I could still have a midwife at other hospitals, Jared and I decided to go with other hospitals. So long story short, once we found out that we could have the option of having a midwife at a hospital, we went with, we decided to explore different options. So my appointment was like maybe a day away. A day or two away, and I'm like, oh, let me look at different hospitals. So we decided to go with a hospital whose mission base is Christian based, because we just felt more comfortable there, and we decided to go there. But they had multiple locations, and they had a brand new one that just opened up, and there was one near my house, or a little bit closer to our home. So we went to the one that was brand new, and we loved it. It was beautiful, it was gorgeous, it was wide open space, it was a lot of light, big windows, and I love that. But they only had 3 rooms that had a bathtub where you can birth in, well, not birth, but you can labor in, and then the other rooms had like massage showers, and on top of that they also didn't give meals to the spouses. So we were just like, I mean, although hospital food isn't really expensive, but at the same time, like, I didn't make this baby on my own. And I think treating the father is just as important, to be honest. Especially if they're there supporting the birth of their child. You know, they're there the same hours as I'm gonna be, you know. So and the nurse who gave us the tour, she didn't like the idea. She's trying to advocate for us to change, for the hospitals to change that. So we're like, okay. So we went to another one that was a little bit closer to our home, probably like 20 minutes away. And I had heard about the hospital. I actually had a couple friends that birthed there as well, and they had good experiences. And it was a little bit older, but it just felt homier. All the rooms have bathtubs, and that was another thing that was important for us, that we have a bathtub that I can labor in. We can't birth in it, which is one thing I also wanted to do at one point, but I was like, okay, that's fine. I don't have to do the stand-up water birth, but at least let me labor in a bathtub. But all the rooms have it, so I don't have to think about the day that I go in, am I gonna have a room that is that has a tub in it? You know, I don't want to think about that the day that I'm in labor. So they all have it, and they also have the meals for the husband as well. So we decided to go that route, and we were happy about our decision. We were very at peace with our decision, and we had our first prenatal appointment on February 1st. So by then we were about, I guess, maybe 10 weeks or so. And I had an appointment scheduled with a certain midwife, and when I came in, she actually had to leave to give birth to a baby, or to help birth a baby. And so I had to meet with a different midwife, and I loved her. I felt so at peace, and I felt happy, and they drew blood. They did a full exam, y'all. I was not ready for it. And they did the breast exam, they did the pap smear, they drew blood, and that was my first prenatal appointment on February 1st. So yeah, maybe I was like 9 weeks or so. Excuse me, that's my husband. Oh no, it's not, it's my brother. I sent him a picture of the ultrasound. Anyway, so yeah, so we went to that appointment, and that was our first prenatal appointment, and we felt good about our decision about having it at a hospital, having a midwife there. And I realized the type of person I am is, I think I like to be catered to a little bit. And I didn't think I was like that before. I was very gung-ho about being birthing at a birthing center before. And once I got pregnant, I was just like, you know, as soon as you give birth, you have to be out in like a couple hours. I mean, it's a small facility. There are other women who need to birth there, and I did not like the decor. A lot of the birthing centers have this old country feel to it, and I hate that decor. I needed something more modern, and I didn't realize these things were important to me until, you know, it became so real. So, you know, you think you have all these things in mind that you want, and then they change when things happen. So that was really cool. So yeah, I think that really covers week 5 through 12, my symptoms and the decisions that we made. So we decided that we are going to have our midwife, but birth at a hospital. And we felt more comfortable about it, so we're happy about that decision. And other than that, we've done nothing to the room yet. I'm still thinking about different things. At this point, weeks 5 through 12, I was not really concerned about the gender. Like, I just was concerned about, is the baby healthy? I just always had reoccurring thoughts of, maybe you're gonna have a miscarriage, you know. And I just had to cast those thoughts down, pray over our baby. We've been confessing that we're gonna have a healthy baby, easy breezy, beautiful delivery, fast delivery, just everything amazing. So it has caused us to pray more, or I guess my anxieties a little bit has caused me to pray more for the health of our child. And that was one of my biggest concerns during that time. But also, yeah, so I haven't really, during that time, I have not been worried about the gender. And as of right now, we still do not know the gender, just in case you guys want to know, we don't know the gender. So yeah, that is it. Next week I'm going to be telling you guys about weeks 13 and 14. And weeks 13 actually did our second prenatal visit, so we'll tell you guys about that and any changes that have happened so far. So now I'm going to show you my bump. And yeah, guys, I've gotten bigger, even though it might look the same as my 5 week. When I took that did the last video, I was so bloated, like that was not for real. But now it's real. Like I wake up with a bump and it's crazy. Yeah, it's crazy. Another thing too that was interesting is in the beginning, like weeks 5 through 6, I could like feel my organs moving around, and I don't really know how to explain it well, but I could tell that they were repositioning, especially on when I slept or when Jared and I were doing married people things. I could tell that things just kind of shifted in my stomach and my lower region. So that has been interesting. But anyway, enough of talking. Here is my bump. Yep, so far I have gained about, let's say, 3 pounds, and my waist is probably about 32.5, which has grown from a 31. But this is my bump. Hope you guys enjoyed, and make sure you like, subscribe, and comment. See you soon. Bye.